Taoiseach, I'm sure you will agree that in health and in infrastructure terms, our top priority as an Oireachtas must be the needs of sick children and the provision of world-class facilities for them. It is 6 months now, Taoiseach, since the Bord refused planning permission for the proposed National Children's Hospital. And at that time, an independent assessment was asked for by the Minister, which became known as the Dolphin Report. He told us it would take 1 month to complete. He received the report on June the 8th. He said the decision would be taken within weeks. Hasn't been. And then in July, we were told it would be October. Now, today, in a remarkable story, we have learned that there's a further report, that of Taoiseach Gilmore's report, and that in essence, Taoiseach Gilmore is doing his own independent research into the preferred location for the new National Children's Hospitals. Labour officials are openly now saying that they are meeting the various bidders themselves, that in essence they're doing their own report and their own assessment of it. But, Taoiseach, I would put it to you that the behaviour of the Labour Party in this regard, and in particular of the Taoiseach, serves to isolate even further and undermines the role and position of Minister Reilly within the Cabinet. Essentially, the Taoiseach, his advisers and officials seem to be saying that they do not trust Minister Reilly to take the correct and right decision here. Now, what I'd like to ask you, Taoiseach, were you aware that the Taoiseach was pursuing this independent track in relation to the National Children's Hospital? And secondly, has the government made a decision to ask any independent person, or has any minister separately asked an independent person, separate to the Dolphin report, to make a separate assessment of the sites that are contained and covered by the Dolphin report itself? So has any other independent person been commissioned by the government to assess the sites within the Dolphin report, or by any individual minister within the government?
Thank you. Taoiseach.
I thought you'd be on another question today, but I didn't see you racing out of the traps like you were the weekend. However, Deputy Martin, I don't deal in anonymous reports. I don't deal in anonymous reports. I've said very clearly there is but one process in regard to the National Children's Hospital. This government has set out as part of its programme one of the major priorities is to build a National Children's Hospital for all the children of Ireland, and to do that in the best way possible with credibility. The process is that the Dolphin report was commissioned by the Minister for Health, and that report is in the hands of the Minister for Health, who has been considering it for some time. There are inevitably questions that arise from elements of that. The process is that the Minister will bring his findings and brief both myself and the Taoiseach, and thereafter the Minister will bring his recommendation to Government. Government will make its decision in this regard, and Government will be absolutely cognizant of doing the best thing for the children of the country. That's the process, and anything you hear outside that is speculation.
Deputy Martin.
Two questions which you didn't answer, Taoiseach. The first question I asked you, were you aware that the Taoiseach was pursuing an independent track, and that his officials and advisers had been out there meeting with the bidders, the various bidders, and getting their opinion? Were you aware that the Taoiseach was pursuing that independent approach on the location of the National Children's Hospital? And the second question I asked you, Taoiseach, and it could be a yes or a no answer, has the government itself asked any other individual person separate from the Dolphin process to assess the sites concerned, or has any minister within the Cabinet asked an independent person to assess the sites? Simple yes or no answer to that would be very appreciative. And Taoiseach, the bottom line is we've had lots and lots of speculation, all of it emanating from the government side. And it's not good enough to stand up here anymore and say I don't go with anonymous sources, because the source is not anonymous.
Thank you.
This morning's report is not anonymous. It's as clear as blue where it's coming from. It's coming from the government, the Labour Party side this morning, and they're in quotation marks. And the point, Taoiseach, is that, you know, we know the Minister openly, it's an open secret that the Minister approached Beaumont to make a submission in relation to the Belcamp site. Other ministers have been openly promoting the Blanchardstown site. Now, the issue is of, I think we all agree here in the House, of paramount importance. And what's important, Taoiseach, is, and I want an assurance that, and I need you to assure the House, that party political considerations will not dictate the outcome there.
Thank you.
But rather that the best interests of the nation's children will be paramount in terms of any decision that you come to.
Thank you. Taoiseach.
Do you remember, Bertie?
I think the deputy is disappointed that the
Thank you.
shallow opportunism that you displayed over the weekend wasn't confirmed. Now, Deputy Martin, this is a government project and therefore a government decision. The government commissioned Mr. Dolphin to do his report. Mr. Dolphin has provided his report to the minister. The minister has examined that report and is in a position now to give his findings to both myself and to the Taoiseach. He will then make his recommendation to government, and government will decide. I can confirm to you, as this is a government project, that the government have not commissioned another independent report in this matter. And you can also take it, Deputy Martin, that the government will, in its decision, make the best attempt that it can at doing absolutely the right thing in respect of the children of the country who are going to use and have use of this hospital. As you're aware, government put in place a process to fund this. I recall all of the politics that surrounded the statement by a predecessor of mine, and he said, oh, and by the way, you'll have the Children's Hospital here as well. There was far too much politics involved in all of this. Far too much politics involved in all of this.
Your own minister endorsed that.
Far too much politics. So the process here Deputy Martin.
Hold on.
The process, Deputy Martin, is very clear. This is a government project. It's a government decision.
It's quiet
It's
down,
part of the
please.
programme
Thanks.
for government. And when the minister brings his recommendation to government, government will make a decision, as I say,
Thank you,
in the best interests of all the children of the country. And I expect that to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. There have been a lot of questions asked about individual issues, and that's the process. It's a government decision, government process. The minister will bring his recommendations, and government will make their decision.
Thank you.